Hey guys, it's AvAngel, welcome back to the channel, and today we're taking a look at F7 Simulation's S100. Now this is a unique aircraft because it's realistic, but it is an original design. Now this aircraft was designed based on the MSX, which is an RC aircraft, and the original creator here originally flew an extra 330L for freestyling contests. Now he always wanted to do something different, and he ended up having this aircraft which he designed, which he then scaled up to be a full-size aircraft. Now it's a modern all-carbon fiber construction, which is quite light, makes it kind of twitchy but very potent. Now it's also robust. Now this thing runs a 380 horsepower engine, or slightly bigger than that, and it has the smoothness but more aggression, which is an interesting new twist. Now looking at its specs, she has a 23-foot wingspan, length of 20 feet, height of 5'8", wing area of 100 square feet, empty weight 1,900 pounds, or sorry, 1,190 pounds, an acrobatic weight of 1,500 and max weight of 1,700 pounds. Roll rate is 470 degrees a second, with a Lycoming AEIO 580, putting out 380 horsepower. Max speed is 240, cruise is 180, stall is 58. She has a range of 750 nautical miles, which is pretty impressive. So, pretty potent little aircraft. Now, there's also a race version, there's two. There's a aerobatic and a race version you get in this. We'll focus on the aerobatic. We won't need to worry about the race one just yet. They're largely similar. Speed's very much similar, just slightly lower roll speed. It's not quite the same wing shape. Now, in terms of features, now we have extreme control deflections with full-length ailerons, an aerobatic flight model, which apparently pushes the sim to its limits of what they can do. Smoke operational sequence cards. We have easy to read panel, which it is. An autopilot and full radios, useful. Custom liveries. And all sorts of other functions, which is really kind of useful to have. Now, overall, this gives us a ton of options when it comes to the aircraft. Aerobatic aircraft have been thin on the ground in the past. We've got quite a few in this new sim, and it's been very helpful. It's given us some good options and things. So we've really had some good potential for aircraft. And this one definitely looks good when it comes to the sim functionality. Many we've seen have been kind of a bit mid. This is good. So we have some really decent options for us here. Now, when it comes to this aircraft, it comes with a full manual showing you different maneuvers, how to do them, and how to function. You can even add your own sequence cards to it. There's instructions on how to add your own sequence cards, which you'll see on the actual panel when we get in. It's on the dash. Now the physics switch can actually move it, so we'll do that in a second. But yeah, let's take a look at how she is in the sim, shall we? Wait for Flow to start up and say hello to my FPS. So relatively simple carbon fiber body, so fairly low on the terms of panel detail because there really isn't any. With these huge ailerons here, which give maximum deflection. Got our guide vanes there. A little flickering, but that's a material thing that happens sometimes in the sims. Quite weird, but there you go. So this exterior is relatively simple. Liveries, here we go. Bunch of liveries. Now, let's pop back in the cockpit. Here's our sequence card. So, where is that physics switch? There it is. So if we click this. Oh, it's attached to the strobe. Where is the strobe? It's on my other controls. There we go. That was strobe. Okay, so I can control it with physics as well. There's my strobe key. Either way. So batteries and generator, mags, avionics. Nice and simple startup procedure. Obviously, we've got our fuel tank selected down below. We have our mixture, we have our prop, we have our throttle right here on the side. And if we go around here, we have the latch to open, quite a simple latch to open the canopy. And there is an audible difference. Obviously, I'm going to open this in flight, but it is doable, in theory. Startup systems is very simple. That's on. And we've started. Let's make sure we put our brakes on here. We'll put our stick back on there. Texturing's simple, but effective, because again, it's a composite model aircraft, so the materials are relatively straightforward. the bucket seat there. Feels like being sat in a Formula 1 car. In fact, I think it's probably the best description I can give for this. Because with aerobatic aircraft, typically you are. So, let's break the throttle there, release the brake, and we'll start to turn. Let's put my headset on here. I believe she's using default sounds, which aren't bad for the extra. Ground handling is excellent, actually. Visibility is difficult because obviously it's a long-nosed aerobatic aircraft. This is one of those factors, but watch this. Decent speed, decent speed, decent speed. Hard braking. Nothing. She can... obviously fairly aft centre of gravity, so does not worry too much about that. Size of these control surfaces, by the way. Look at the size of those. Now this is 17/18 euros from Sim Market, and honestly pretty decent value for what you're getting here in terms of options. So the two different variants, the race and the aerobatic model. Yes, it's a unique original design, but I don't see anything wrong with an original design, especially when it comes to a lot of aircraft like aerobatic aircraft that are largely custom made. So let's accelerate slowly here. A little bit of rudder control, not a ton. Little bit of rudder input there to keep us straight while we get the tail up. A little bit of nuance, you'll get some practice with that. Once we've got the tail up, we can power on and we can lift off. Take that rudder off there as we straighten up. Visibility, as you'd expect, is excellent. And she's very flighty. Like, she just wants to go whee! Woohoo! We're here at Santa Monica, by the way, from Orbex, just north of LA. So Santa Barbara, not Santa Monica. Come back over the airfield, we'll do some maneuvers. No scratching on the glass, which is a positive, I think, when you've got so much of it and you need to see a lot. Very manoeuvrable aircraft. Really positive handling as well. I'm quite enjoying how she feels in terms of her ground and air handling. Everything feels predictable when I put it into position. It's twitchy as all heck, but then again, if it wasn't twitchy, it wouldn't be able to maneuver like this. Go. Love how this thing actually handles. It's a fantastically twitchy and maneuverable aircraft. Very fun. Very, very fun. Now, they're not wonderfully easy aircraft to land, but then again, most aerobatic aircraft aren't. The big nose here is a big problem for that. So what I recommend myself, and what I think often gets done, is crabbing on the approach with long-nosed aircraft. Gives you maximum visibility for the aircraft to really allow you to handle things properly and not end up basically having a blind approach. Now the sequence card does block off a lot of that single glass display you've got there, which is of course the G3X. Not everyone's favourite avionics panel, but it does work, and obviously you're not really looking at that as much when you've got the sequence card on. Let's set up to do something interesting here, see just how much I can control this aircraft. Now I am flying on a yoke, which does limit one's twitchy manoeuvrability when it comes to aerobatics aircraft, so that is going to be a factor for us. There we are. Let's manoeuvre a little bit as we get into position for this. You can't quite see what I'm doing yet, but I can, so don't worry. Hi, ground. A little bit closer. I'm not quite close enough to the ground here and I'm drifting off course. I was meant to fly down the runway straight there, but oh well. Let's get a little bit lower down and do this properly, shall we? It's better. Oh, I don't want to scrape my head on the ground. High ground. There we go. But she has maximum performance in this sort of maneuvering. Very predictable. Like I said, I've often found a lot of aircraft quite hard to snap roll. Whereas this aircraft... Okay, not quite enough there. Let's cut the pie. No, I'm not going to do that because I'm too low for that sort of maneuver. But I find it quite easy to snap roll this aircraft. See? Oh god, don't hit the camera button reset while you're doing that. There we go. Really, really predictable. You could really find where the stop points are. Okay. We're kind of roughly on a base here, so what we're going to do is we're going to bring her down and we'll get the race version out and have a look at her as well. Because this is essentially two variants for the same price, so it does give you some options there. Make sure we're configured for landing here. Let's keep a little bit of power on here because she will bleed that speed very easily. We'll keep her in a crab as we come down, so we can see the runway approaching nicely. And then you've got to be a little bit kind of gentle as you kind of bring it down. Clunk. Ugh. Not my finest, but big nose equals hard to land. Okay. Whoa, we're drifting off the runway. Oh, God. Oh, runway light. I made a dog's breakfast of that. Let's see if we can do better with the race model. My God. So we're at UT68, Uniform Tango 68, Tangrila, which is connected to the Got Friends Astro 1 racecourse. You can see what we're about to do, can't you? We're in a parking spot here. It's a bit of a small strip, but this is the race variant. You'll notice we've got winglets. We don't have the guides and some of the minor shape changes, but they're relatively small. It's mostly the wing ends there and those winglets for performance. So let's get back inside here. Everything should be configured for us just to hit the starter and get going. There we go, heads on. So we're on dirt, which could make this quite interesting. Let's try and find the runway, shall we? I think it's this way. I'm not quite sure. We're in Moab, so it's going to be an interesting country regardless. I need to go third person. There's no way I can do this otherwise. I feel like this is our runway. Yes, it is. Okay, wonderful. We're on the grass. This is not the most realistic moment of my life, but right now I'm not quite as bothered because I want to get in the air, which is the important part here. So we'll back taxi a little bit here. The sounds are very fitting, and they're generically very similar to a lot of aerobatic types, so it does work. But as far as prototypes go and models go, this is quite a nice one because we have got those options for the racing variant and the other variant, and I suspect it'll be quite easy to do liveries for. These aerobatic types are fantastic for that kind of design elements. Very artistic aircraft. And I can say it's 100% accurate, which is a huge selling point. 100% accurate to the original. Because this is the original. So it can never be slightly off on the size and shape and things. So, right, let's get ourselves moving, shall we? Let's try and not snap this up, shall we? Come on, nose down. That's it. Whoa! A little bit much there. Oh, we're at reasonable altitude. Not huge, but reasonable. Okay. 4,500 feet. So where am I heading? That way, I think. Yep, there's the course. Build some speed here. Tiny little strip there, but a useful one. Let's get on some of this action, shall we? She wanted quite a bit of trim for that. Now we're at max everything and she's not overpowering, so the engine's definitely being affected. How well I'm going to fly this, I don't know, but we'll give it a crack. I'm definitely not going to hit most of these markers, that's for sure. But I'll do my best. Oh, this is going to be interesting. I will say the flight handling does seem a little different. Oh god, I'm definitely not going to be... This is too tight for this aircraft. Oh god, thank god they're lasers. Thank god they're lasers. Otherwise I'd never be able to do this. I'm just going to try and stick close as I can. No, this is pod racing. The sounds you're getting from me are entirely authentic. This is the sound of fear. That's a rock face. Ow. I don't even care. This is why I don't have crash effects on, because it's way funnier when I screw up this badly. Too big for this course. Far too big for this course. Why? This is an attempt to do some kind of close terrain flying rather than that mess, because those sounds should never emit from a human being in that volume. Okay, there we go. Okay. Whew. We'll reset our progress a little bit here and we'll drop down in. We'll try and just stay within the valley rather than try to follow the actual markers. We'll call the valley good, okay? We'll call the valley good because I was way too terrain hugging during that run. That was the turn that got us. Okay. We've already made progress. Just sticking with the valley will do. Fear, I find, is a strong motivator for crazy flight. Which is why I like taking the H125 helicopter through LA's buildings in downtown. There's a drop down on the far side. I'm never going to make it through those. Thank God they're lasers, probably. They're probably lasers. I mean, they're probably also neon beams, but oh well, we'll call it good. Wow! Sounds of fear. Sounds of fear. Sounds of fear. Power! This thing's fun. It is so terrifyingly fun. I love it. This is actually a blast to fly. Highly recommend if you want a quick, nimble, stupid aerobatic aircraft that's... You're not worried about it being a super duper original model and it being something interesting. It is original. It's obviously very original. It's not a real one, but I don't really care. Because compared to some of the other models I've flown of aerobatic aircraft in the sim, and I'm not an aerobatic expert, it feels a lot more nimble and more realistic. It's difficult. But again, flying this sort of stupid is hard. Can I put it down there? We'll find out. Next time on Dragon Ball Z. / in a minute. I'll say a minute because it's about to happen, whether we like it to or not. And if I screw up this, we're in the water, so... Let's drag her ass in here. Angle the prop a little bit as we get over there. Oh god, there's consequences here. And I can't see what the consequences are. There's banners and everything. Oh god, death is happening. That's not going to happen. Let's go back to Tangrila, because I think that's the only plausible safe option I have, which is only over there, so we'll be good. Yeah, that was never going to happen. You just can't see over the nose well enough, and I didn't really have the room to have some lateral space for safety, so... Airport should be down here by the river. Trying stupid things is definitely my forte. I'm all in favour of them. So, to the developer from F7 Simulations, hats off, I rather like this. It's fun, it's realistic, it's interesting, it's challenging. And I like challenging. Challenging's always fun for me. That was mildly not terrible compared to my first landing. Will it stop though is another matter entirely. Rudder, 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 rudder. That's water, rudder, 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 water, rudder. There we go. And we landed. Now I need a stiff drink. And probably a shower. Because that was a tad wild. But fun. The S100 and the R100. Much as fun. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.